Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube.
I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, how's it going, guys? I chopped the end of that off there.
J
Sorry
on E
about it.
Loco 619.
All right, we've got
Jeff
people
Russell.
jumping
All
in
stainless
here.
P232 with wood grips in my new love heart smiling face.
There we go.
Raymond
There we go.
Correa.
Yes, we have got a lot of people in the chat already. Let me go ahead. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with yours truly, PhatPastor. I have been on the FMV tonight running the course, so just got it set up right at the last minute. So glad to see everybody already here. How's it going, Jeff? Yeah, man, I like that video. It took me a little bit to put it together, but I'm glad you liked it. So let me go in. The chat's a little bit behind. Tool Man was he was the first one I got registered. FPV Gaps McShaky, Octavia Swan, McFlies,
Exiled Scoob.
June Loco,
Hey.
Jeff Russell, Raymond Carrera, and Exiled Scoob. You got to get here early if you want the fat guy to read your name. Yes, Octavia, I am feeling better. A lot of the swelling's gone down. I still got some back there. They had to break a little bone loose to get it out, but feeling a lot better. So FPV Gap said getting excited for the big race. Yes, I was actually on a meeting. We had a Facebook meeting with the volunteer team for the Southeast Micro Drone Championship at 6 p.m. Central Time, and went right from that. That went till about 5 till 7. Then jumped over on the FMV, ran probably 7 or 8 heats, I guess, in there. Threw down some times. Wasn't able to stay till the finishing of it, but I had a good time. Excuse me, on Velocidrone with the guys and the gals on there. So yeah, that's what I was doing. Remy Carrera, gentlemen, how's it going, brother? Jeff, long time no see, man. If you get a chance on October 24th, 25th, and 26th in Lebanon, you should make your way, even if it's just to bring the kids and spectate for a little while, to the Southeast Micro Drone Championship that we're going to have. That's the biggest race of its kind that's ever been in this area, and we're looking forward to it. Had a good meeting tonight. I think we got a good team of volunteers that's going to see to it that it gets done. We're going to have some things that's very unlike other races. For one, it's going to be a blacklight race, kind of like Cosmic Bowling, if you've ever been to one of those, or something. It's going to both 65 and UDL will be blacklight or cosmic, whatever you want to call it. Shooting for a podium spot. There you go, man. There you go. And podium spots will garner you some prizes and prize money and all of that. We're still in the process of getting sponsorship line up. So all of that we already have enough sponsors to run the race. Now we're just the more that we get, the more that the pilots are going to get. So that's good. We are excited about that. I think we have around 20-something, 27. I think somebody said it was tonight in the meeting. I don't quote me on that. I think we got around 20-something tickets left. So be sure to get yours. The policy. Somebody messaged me, and I didn't message me right before before going on into the meeting, and I know that they watch the channel, and a lot of times they're on the channel. The thing about it, if you think you want to come, go ahead and buy your ticket, as long as you cancel within, I think it's like a week or two. It might be 2 weeks. I'm not for sure what our rule book says on it. I've got to familiarize myself with
McShaky
it.
FPV.
But as long as you cancel within 2 weeks, I think it is 2 weeks of the race, you'll get your money back. So if you think you might want to come, but you don't know if something's going to come up, go ahead and buy your ticket. Now, you can buy them at 533, or you can buy them through the Facebook page, either by Cash App or PayPal. But if you think you might want to come, but you're kind of, back and forth on whether there's something going on at that time, then what I recommend is go ahead and buy the ticket, because after the tickets sell out, there will be 24 spots, and that's a first come first serve basis of reserves. So when someone cancels, the first person who's on the reserve ticket list will get the opportunity to buy that ticket. If you cancel, if you cannot come and you cancel past the deadline, then it's a non-refundable ticket. But that's like, I think it's 2 weeks. I don't know. I think it's within 14 days. It might be 7 days. Don't quote me on it. It's something like that. And we will have the rules
Is it just me or did he just go silent? Phil Baxter.
I hit my microphone. Thanks.
Scott M.
You guys watch this. You can see my microphone. Let me take this off. Just the microphone around. It's that easy. So I have to be careful when I'm moving it. I probably need to put some tape or something over it. So yeah. So let me know if the audio goes out again. Thanks, guys. It was not you. Muted. Yep. So I gotta try to quit grabbing it right there on that spot, but I don't know what it is. You put the microphone in front. When I set it down here on the table, you can hear every time I touch the table, but then I will put it up here. I want to grab it and I want to move it. So we will have the rules. Yep. Oh, we will have the rules. Sorry. We got to have the rules completely spelled out, and we should have the rules up on the Facebook page in a couple of weeks. But we want all of that to be it's one of the things we talked about tonight in the meeting.
Pacific North Whoop.
To getting, there you go. Hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. See, so we could have the northeast, the southeast. You can have the Pacific North, and you can have the West Coast, and I think Colorado. You know, the Whoop Invitational or Open or whatever it's called. Yeah. Gotta quit touching that spot. You know, it's an old story. You've heard the thing about the guy that goes in to see his doctor. He's like, you know, Doc, every time I touch my shoulder right here, it hurts. And the doctor says, oh, okay. Then stop touching your shoulder. So.
Skydozer
How's it
FPV.
going, Skydozer? Exiled School. We've got a lot of people out here tonight. Good. That's good, because something I'm wanting to talk about tonight, I think is important. It is some hard truths, and I will stop and answer questions and all of that. It's some hard truths that I feel we need to listen to and understand about this hobby that we love. And I think as we all grow in our appreciation of these truths and understanding of these truths, I think it's going to help us all. And people are like, oh no, here comes a sermon. It's if it is, it's an FPV one. So as y'all know, I study people. I've been a certified drug and alcohol family counselor to domestic violence, several different certifications in the state of Tennessee in counseling. And as a licensed minister, I've counseled hundreds or thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds to thousands of people over the years. And I study people. And I've been in this hobby long enough to notice something about this hobby that I've not heard people point out before, and I want to share with you tonight, and I want to get your feedback on some of these issues and some of these things. One, if you've been in this hobby for a while, especially now, if you're up to date with what's going on, you would have to say tends to be an awful lot of drama in this hobby, and you know, more so than other adult hobbies. You don't see quite this much, you know, drama in the golfing or the fishing community, or you will in racing, such as stock car and things like that. But let's just talk about FPV. Freestyle racing, long range, TinyWhoop, whatever, and even RC in general with airplanes. We can add this to it. There seems to be a lot of drama that bar sports. Scott M says try bar sports like pool and darts. Well, but the good thing is you got darts. You know, if it gets really bad, you've got, if you're real good at a dart, you know, you wouldn't have to throw a punch. But anyway, so
The drama is all your fault, Marty.
no, it's your fault, Phil, and I can prove it. I've got the documentation, and I'll be releasing that pretty soon. I'm joking. Phil is a good friend of mine. I heard fly fishing fights too. Oh, that movie, The River That Runs Through It, is such a relaxing movie. I love it. Leading to TinyWhoop. Yep. Props do hurt worse. Yeah, you get hit with a pro spec. Yeah, you're gonna notice it. But haven't been in a fight in the pits at all. Yeah, yeah. Exile. That's. But you know, hey, I've heard some horrible stuff from females getting their butt grabbed, to other parts of their body grabbed while they got their goggles down, and other stuff, like some horrible stuff has happened. But anyway, let me get back to I'm going to try to stay on focus and really not, you know, really not hit too many rabbit trails. But y'all know me.
I wasn't talking to you, Deeds. I was talking to that squirrel over there.
Oh.
That squirrel distracts me every now and then, and when it does,
I'm a female, Marty. Don't grab me anymore. Ooh, something shiny.
ooh, something shiny. Yes. Look at that, a squirrel. Phil, I try not to grab you at all, but it's just that reddish colored beard that just makes it unattainable sometimes. But anyway, as y'all know, drama seems to be prevalent in this hobby, and it seems to cause people in this hobby a lot of grief. And first, to understand why this is happening is one, it's just the nature of groups of people. Humans are pack animals, and you know, in any pack there's always hierarchy, and there's always a struggle for hierarchy. And you know, people that don't understand that, you need to understand that there's alphas and omegas and all things in between, hierarchy in pack animals. And it's the same thing with humans. Humans, we're always in a struggle for hierarchy, and it's no different in our hobby. Now, I know that some of you are sitting there saying, man, I don't care nothing about all that. I just want to fly. That's part of the hierarchy. You know, there's some that don't want to be a part of the drama or whatever. They just want to be apart. You know, a guy with two boys grabbed my butt while I was playing Altered Beast at the grocery store. Made me so mad. And two boys laughed at me, and then I wasn't prosecuted. No, it is illegal. It is illegal. That is definitely illegal. But I think the thing that all of this drama and the things that we're talking about, this is normal for human beings. We also have to understand that almost all, unless you are neurodivergent in some way, critically or massively neurodivergent, you know, psychopath, sociopath type levels, we all have a desire to be wanted. And I'll just say it like this. People are made to love and to be loved. And when those two things are are happening. It's what happened to Jarvis? Did he go?
Marty,
Oh no.
your neurons have already diverged.
Yes, that's right. Okay, I saw Phil's comment and I was like, "What happened to Jarvis?" Yes, they have. They have already diverged. But with humans, we are made. Of course, you know I'm a pastor. I don't think we evolved, but we were made to love and to be loved. And when we are operated in both of those, that's when we are the happiest. When people are the happiest, and a lot of conflict and a lot of hurt comes from when those two are not happening. And that can be several things. A lot of things that this hobby has nothing to do with, things that are going on in home life, personal life, things that happen to someone when they were a kid, which leads them to a personality trait. I don't want to call it a disorder, but a personality trait that causes conflict with other personality traits. Case in point, I'll use myself as an example. I am an extrovert. I have always been extroverted, which means, we won't talk about the other verts that start with P. We'll leave that out of the chat and all of that if we can tonight, because I don't want to get a ding from YouTube. But extroverted people, they're out there. They're when they come in, sometimes they're the life of the party. So you definitely will feel it when an extrovert enters a group, because they're often they can be loud. I'll say not often. They can be loud. They're almost always opinionated, and they tend to dominate, especially those in the groups that are introverted. Introverts are quiet. They want to sit in the corner. They still want to be a part of the group. Now, just stay with me for a second, because I'm getting somewhere. Okay. I know you're sitting there like, well, come on, where's this going? I'm getting somewhere that I think is going to help us out in the hobby. And with me, it's very easy if
Been
I'm not
flying
careful.
since the 70s. We did not have all this media attention like today. Had only 3 channels back then. No VTX, no cell phone, no social media, Facebook, etc.
That's correct. But even in the old flying fields of the 80s, there was drama. There was people that didn't like each other, and the personality conflicts that popped up. It just wasn't broadcast to everybody. You didn't have Facebook to put it all on. It says, as a new pilot, I am chasing clout. I'm chasing clout or drama. I'm chasing that pure flow state. Less BS. Yep. More airtime. Let them fly. Yep. Rise up and meet me in the air. That's exactly what I mean by all of that. But here's the thing. Because we are pack animals, you start flying, you get a group of buddies, you get a group of friends, even if you're flying freestyle. You get a group of people. I've seen it happen time and time again. A group of people start flying, and then there's a fallout between this faction and that faction. This person, or this extrovert and this extrovert clash, and they get their followers that's under them.
He said he's not chasing drama.
And, yeah, not chasing drama. Right. So, yeah. Thank you for clarification on that. Just want to fly. But inevitably you're going to run into it, especially if you're new to this hobby. You don't have to chase it. It'll find you, especially if you stay in this hobby long enough. You'll start to fly. You'll make friends, and then there's the urge for those people to try to pull you to one side or another, make you choose. And But let me go back to introverted and extroverted. With me, it's very easy. It's something that I have to be mindful of as a pastor, uh, as a friend, as a father, and a husband. It's real easy to walk into a situation, into a room,
Conflict is attracted to passion.
and that's correct. Conflict is attracted to passion. And I'm going to say some things. Kiss.
Kiz Bartlett, Kiz.
I absolutely hate all this drama, and it's brought out the worst in me due to my dumbness getting involved. I have been much
Guess
happier.
I'm lucky I'm a lone flyer.
Yep. Yeah, in some ways. Um, yeah, I'm seeing this a lot. But also there is great reward in and a lot of fun to be had. Like Phil said, that conflict attracts passion, and where there's passion, if you're passionate about it, and a lot of us are passionate about this hobby and we want to share it. And so we share the hobby, and then we bring people into the hobby, and we introduce people into the hobby. And here's a couple of things. There's certain kinds of people that we come across in our hobbies, in this hobby. Now, I'm not talking about whether they're noob, experienced, pro, or enthusiast, novice. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about those levels. I'm talking about the personality traits of people that come into the hobby. You got the quitter. Now, right now, that's got some of you's attention. Good. I meant to. You got the quitter. This hobby takes tenacity to stay, or a lot of money. You don't have to have any tenacity if you're just going to fly and crash it and send it back to 533 every time it's messed up for the pit stop and for them to fix it. And Evan's not sponsored this live stream, but if that's you and you got the money to do it, more power to you. Go ahead and do that. But the most people that's in this hobby, we're the ones the quitters don't stay with it because stuff breaks. Raymond Carrera says it all the time in the chat. If you're not crashing, you're not flying. And let me tell you how it used to be in the old days. Raymond can tell you that back in the old balsa days, when you crashed, man, it could be months of work for you to build that back, especially if it was the only craft that you had. Drones crash, especially the FPV drones. This thing right here crashes 1,000 times better than most airplanes. But anyway, so you crash. Beta flight is always changing. I mean, how many of us have said, I'm going to learn tuning?
Yup.
I'm going to learn PID tuning. I'm going to get it down and all of that. And just to have the newer version of Betaflight come out, and then all of a sudden, it's changed. The way that you learned how to PID tune, or the way you knew to PID tune, it doesn't work anymore. Now there's sliders and there's filters and there's all these kind of things. Yeah, Phil says
Early days of FPV, was down for months waiting on bearings for my Emax red bottoms.
Emax red bottom
Dealing
motors,
with
yeah.
this and INAV right now.
Yep. And so we've all been there at the point where you're like, you know what? And I've still not put y'all remember that when we were testing this thing and we all thought that the motor was bad and it ended up being a bad bad ESC. It's still sitting here. I'm not going to remove it from my bench, because I do intend to fix it at some point. But it's frustrating. You're binding. Remember how frustrating it used to be to bind a quad and all of that. And so people that give up easy are quick to give up. Quitters. People that don't like mental conflict, that don't like adversity, that are not tenacious. I use that word. It takes tenacity, and that we are a tenacious group. It takes tenacity to stay in this hobby. And now extroverts are not the only people that have tenacity. You know, they're extroverts who have it, and they're introverts. And then so you got the quitter that comes into the hobby. They don't stay very long. They come in. We've all seen them. They're passionate. They love it because they probably dreamed of flying when they were a child, and they put a set of goggles on and they love it. And we sell them or give them.
Same here. It took me 6 months to build my first 5 inches drone.
Yeah. And or in my
8-bit
case,
underscore. Tenacity.
right. And or in my case, I've done this numerous times. I couldn't count them on both hands. That I give somebody a drone. There's probably times that on this hand that I've given somebody drone, goggles, radio, chargers, batteries, everything they need to fly. There's been people that I've put that in their hands, and for them to only turn around and quit, and 2 months later they're not even flying, and they don't want anybody else to have their drone, but they don't want to fly it. So we run into those, and that's not us. They don't cause a whole lot of problem in the FPV community. They're here for a little while, and they're gone. And no matter how much you like them, and some people quit for good reason. Things happen in their family. Things happen to their health. They lose a job. It's not all just because they've got a quitter mindset. Some people with tenacity and all of the things that's needed to stay in this hobby have quit for different reasons. But one of the people that we come across in this hobby is the quitter. They're going to quit us, and there's nothing that we can do as a community to stop that. Their quitting really has nothing to do with us as a whole. You can give them quads. You can
Fart up wowza dowser.
we can give them everything that they need. It's like Octavia says, you either got it or you don't. Kiss says, I've tried a lot of other, after quitting skateboarding, stuck with this hobby is because of the people. And the people is one of the things that has kept me in this hobby as long as I've been in it. But if we don't manage this paradigm, our hobby's doomed. It's FPV is a relatively new hobby. When even to airplanes, if you've been in this hobby long enough to know, you have heard of flying fields, AMA flying fields that don't allow FPV drones. They just don't want that kind of riffraff or that kind of person or whatever, and that stems from that community working through
Matthias.
a lot of its.
Apparently mine doesn't.
How's it going, Matthew?
I disregard and fly anyways.
Yep.
Riffatitati raff riff.
Guys, hit that like and subscribe button. And while I'm taking a pause here to listen to 8-bits riffatitivity whatever, take out all your frustration on that like button for me for the day. Just smash it in real good. And if you really don't like, it's right there near my face. It just, some people really enjoy it because it looks like I'm taking a shot to the jaw. But so the quitters, we're not going to be able to do anything to stop them. That's going to happen one way or the other. Sometimes people leave because they get a divorce, it's a death in the family, a job changes, a health situation changes, many things that are beyond our control and even their control. Sometimes they just quit out of sheer frustration. It's too much trouble. I can't keep my drones in the air. Man, I've heard that for even back in the air. I just too much. I fly this thing and spend months and months making it and get everything working, and then I fly it and one thing happens, and now I'm picking up a box of sticks and trying to build it back again. Thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate it. Some people quit because of other people in the hobby being jerks, and we're going to get there. I'm not talking for the initial quitters, but there are people, going back to what I said about me being an extrovert. Me being an extrovert and being a pastor is, not all pastors are extroverts. Some of you started to think that, but is I have to be real careful not to step on people. I have a tendency to have this mindset of get out of my way and let me do it if you're not going to do it right. And that hurts people. And it takes some wisdom and some coming in alignment with truth for a person to see that. Now, there's a category of extroverts that are in this hobby that are dangerous.
It's all RC. We went from push rods and servos to circuit boards and computers.
Right. That's right. Same thing. But let me list the peoples, and then I'll go back to what I think the problem is. So you have introverts, you have extroverts, you have your quitters. Then you have nerds. Now, a nerd can be extroverted also, but they often tend to be more introverted, but not always. You have your nerds that they love it when Betaflight changes. They want to get in there and they want to read the GitHub and they want to see everything that it's doing new and they want to understand it. These are the Chris Rossers of our group that they want to get in and they want to know why. Why does moving this slider 2 ticks? Why does moving the master multiplier up fix our problem? A lot of us are just like, okay, if it's wrong, I'm just going to move my master multiplier up a couple of ticks and see if it fixed my problem. It did. Okay, I'm done. Somebody like me, I'm done. I don't know why it fixed it. Somebody just told me with whoops, if you're having a problem, pull your master multiplier
A bunch of bits.
See if it helps, and if it doesn't, then put it back. So you have your nerds. You have your extroverts, you have your nerds, you have your
I fly
overachievers.
KISS, so I don't have those problems.
Right. And you have your overachievers that fly KISS. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Teehee drama.
I'm joking. But
Freak hen nerds.
that's it with PH. Freaking nerds. That's right. So, where was I at?
I wasn't talking to you, Deeds. I was talking to that squirrel over there.
Oh.
You guys might have to remind me from time to time in the chat where I'm at. I know what I want to say, but I did not have time tonight to make notes of what I was going to say. So, nerds. Overachievers, yes. Overachievers is another demographic or personality trait that we have. And these people, with certain things in their life, they are just built and programmed to take it to its limits, to push it to its limits. And those people will tend to push relationships to their limits. they're usually failure is very hard for them, which makes saying I'm sorry. Remember this, which makes saying I'm sorry that I stepped on you trying to do what I love doing. Some people really, really. Where's my thing? Let me do this because come on. There it is. Let me. Oh, calm down. I didn't zoom the camera in. Some people really need to listen to this. This will help some of you massively. It is not failure. It is not weakness to say, I'm sorry that I hurt you. It's actually good for the whole hobby. It's probably scary when...
Jolly Bob FPV.
How's it going, Jolly? I'm seeing a lot of new names here tonight, guys. Welcome to the channel. Jolly Bob, we are talking about some truths that we really need to understand. If you haven't, and it's your first time here, hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel a lot. It's kind of like leaving a tip. But anyway, as I zoomed the camera in and said that it's really serious tones. Yes, it's really important that some people get this. It's not weakness to say I'm sorry. It's not failure to say I'm sorry that I hurt you. Sometimes we need to say I'm sorry even when we feel like we didn't do anything wrong.
Do you get it, eh?
But if I offend 8-bit, a longtime member...
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna apologize.
If I offend 8-bit, a longtime member of this channel, because of my extrovertedness, my neurodivergence, whatever, does it really matter if technically I'm right? Socially, it doesn't matter. And if this hobby is going to be as much technical and social, see, that's what we want. That's what this channel is for, right? It's to combine the love of the hobby with the social aspect of the hobby. I was just on flying with some guys, and now I'm here talking with you guys. And Skydozer, I love that. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize. But and there's things that, don't get me wrong, there's things that you shouldn't apologize for. But sometimes there's a time to look past yourself and to say, I understand my viewpoint on it, but what's 8-bits? When if I stepped on him, if I hurt him, if he perceives that I did him wrong, and I can use 8-bit, I'll use 8-bit again. As an example, 8-bit won something on this channel, and 8-bit has, how long? Let me check here. Has been a member for
Muted. Audio gone.
I hit it again. Sorry. Where did I leave off? Sorry about that. Yeah, wow, the chat is amazing. You'll have to remind me where it went. People think that apologizing for something will make them think less of you, but in my experience, I've only gained respect and respected someone more for apologizing. Exactly. But you're not a narcissist, and I haven't talked about that yet. There's another group of people that are in this hobby, and they are narcissists. And narcissism is a level of neurodivergence. Narcissists don't think the same way as most people think. We have a term for that in counseling. It generally would fall under what's called APD, antisocial personality disorder, which is not what it sounds like. It's generally a person thinks that they live their lives like they're the center of the universe, and if bad things happen to them, it's normally because somebody else did something. If they get arrested, it's because the cop was picking on them. Everybody else was doing it, and I was the one that got caught. And
It's a butt disorder.
well, it's a brain disorder. And so, again, if there's something important, again, thanks so much for the chat blowing up like it is. I love that. But if there's something that you really want me to focus on, like it's a butt disorder, then if you put exclamation point in front of it, then a space, Jarvis will read it, and it will get my attention, and it'll probably cause me to, shiny thing, and lose track for a little bit, but I'll get back to it most of the time. So, and we have to understand that our hobby is unique. We're like one of the only hobbies that most people know for sure that
Tenacity underscore I titatish.
Yeah, we're like one of the few hobbies that know that the snozberries taste like snozberries. And if you don't know, then
I apologize to my wife all the time. If you are married, you know what I mean.
if you're remember, loved and being loved. If these things are happening in your life like they're supposed to be, it's not as hard to say I'm sorry when to someone that you know loves you back and that you love. So sometimes it is, people are like, oh, you should have met my ex-wife. Not talking about that. We were talking about narcissist. Narcissism, they think that they live their life like they're the center of the universe. They often will walk all over people with little regard to how that makes someone feel. So understand, the majority of the people that stay in our hobby, they're either nerds, overachievers, extroverts with tenacity. And all of these are introverts that want to stay in the corner, right? And they don't want to be the one speaking. They want to fly. They want to be in the group. They want to fly with people. They want to have that comfort and the camaraderie that it takes, but leave me alone. I don't want to be in leadership. Don't put me on the spot. They are often the ones that the extroverts, not the extroverts, but the narcissists will use and abuse. They're often the ones that get stepped on, and they are just as much part of this hobby as the overachievers and the leaders and everything else in this hobby. what if you're staying in this hobby, you have to be opinionated, and you have to have this will. You have to be strong-willed to keep fighting it out. You know, to keep looking, to keep trying, to keep whatever, grinding on the simulator, getting faster and faster and faster, pushing that quad to a little bit further to see if you can make it up to the peak of the mountain in long range, trying to hit that hole in the roof of the bando that, if you don't hit it just right, you're going to try to climb up on top of the roof to get it. And the rewards from that tenacity and drive that we have, the passion that we have to hit that gate, to beat that time in racing, to go as further than we've ever went before, and to share that, to get that video, to actually edit that video and put it online, and for somebody to go, wow, man, that's a good FPV video. That's why we do it. And it takes a special kind of person to do that. And those special personalities, those special personality types don't often mix well together. You can take a group of nerds and you can put them together, and they could reinvent the hobby. They could change the hobby. But the problem with that is you have one strongly extroverted narcissist join the group who's intellectually on their level, but not a nerd, a narcissist. That narcissist can take that group and twist them, manipulate them, make them think that they're the problem. Come on. And walk all over them. And oftentimes what that will cause at least some of them, because introverted people tend to have an adversity to conflict. That's why they're introverted. And they will run from conflict. They will, by the way, you like my shirt? They will run from conflict. They will at least back away from it, if not run from it. And so that right there could cause someone to leave the hobby. And we need to understand what personality type we are. And understand with that, there's strengths and weaknesses with our personality type and our personality trait. And if you don't know what yours, ask someone close in your family. Ask someone who loves you enough to tell you the truth. And if you're married, ask your spouse. They will probably tell you. Yes, there's lots of, thank you, McShaky, for taking care of that in the chat. Here I am, right in the middle of promoting the biggest micro drone race to ever have been held in the southeast part of the United States. And right after we kicked this thing off and said this thing is going and all, drama, hear me, drama that was already well established, well entrenched, problems that have been swept under the rug for years, manifested in the form of TinyWhoop. And if we're not careful, I've heard some things, some chatter of hubby or something like that, and it's not that's not healthy. That's we have to understand doing something like that. One, let me go back. The drama already existed before it had a platform, before it had a voice. It was there most of the time. And let me tell you what happened, because I've done it. I've done it in the course of stepping on.
Derpy Hooves.
Hello, Miss Derpy. Hopefully we'll be seeing Miss Derpy as a guest here on the channel. Not too far in the future, hopefully. So we're trying to work that out. So welcome. She's a member of the channel and a unique person that I think you all need to meet. But anyway, so the drama existed. The problem existed long before there was a platform. Long before there was a voice. It's kind of like Raymond Carrera said earlier. Back in the 70s, we didn't have Facebook and we didn't have, this and that. But yes, we still had the drama. There were still narcissists. There were still extroverts. There were still overachievers. There were still underachievers. That's another one that and we all know the underachiever. They come to, they never have props. You always have to fix their props, or they come to a race and they don't have batteries. So I mean, so we have those to deal with.
There are
also.
monsters too, Marty. Thanks,
Yes.
Marty, for this stream. This is the Linda stream I didn't know I needed until now.
Well, good, brother. Hopefully, share it with people. Clip it. Feel free to clip it. Just don't use me out of context. That's all that I ask.
Last time I was here, my username was Ethan1715. I forgot I changed my username.
Oh, Ethan. We know you, Ethan. I thought you was somebody new. Well, thank you for the membership, Jolly Bob. But anyway, now back to the program. And you said that there are monsters, and yes, there's monsters, and there are also just a-holes. There's buttholes. No.
You're using your paper now.
The snozberries taste like
What?
snozberries.
Give me a second.
You're gonna be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
I hit my Stream Deck and it collapsed. So I tried to pick it up and I ended up hitting 3 buttons. I was trying to do this as I was trying to say and make it dramatic or funny and say
By the river.
There's also buttholes in the hobby.
How dare you?
That's how that should have went before I knocked my Stream Deck over and hit 3 video clips all right in a row. So where was I? Now back to the program. The misstep was funny. It y'all probably could have used to come up for air for a minute, right? I know I need to do that every now and then. So the drama was here before. It is always present when you put a group of passionate people together building something. This hobby is not at its apex, I don't believe. Now we with things that's coming in the future, we may see a decline in it because of laws and standards and things like that, but it's not going to die. It may have to move inside or whatever. And I was just on with 40 something people on a simulator, and we was all having a good time. About 20 of them was talking at the same time, and I never understood that. How in the world? I did tonight. A lot of people will go on there and they mute certain people that talk a lot, or talk about things that's not relative to what they want to hear, so they can't hear them at all. And if they're muting 4 or 5 people, and one guy's in the middle of actually saying
Nah,
something,
I'm not moving my flying inside. I will not ever comply.
there you go, there you go, and see, that is a personality trait that some people don't have, Mike. They just don't. There's some people that won't fight for it. They will just comply, and because they don't want conflict and all of this, they're just going to comply with it. And then there's those that won't. Yeah, I was talking about monsters. Yes. There are also monsters. There's monsters lurking.
Very true. It
In-
makes me sad. And angry a bit. Birds don't like cages.
Yeah. They are monsters that
We
hide.
don't mute anyone unless they become a big problem with FMV and the rest of the pilots.
Yes.
We understand everyone has different traits and we accept them.
Yep, and but see, I'd never understood that before, and that's why there's some talking over, because I didn't have anybody muted, but if this guy's got 3 people muted, and he wants to say something, and another guy's already talking, then he doesn't know that person's already talking, so was just a misunderstanding on my part, and yes, birds don't like cages, they don't, but. And, a lot of people in our hobby, that's the rising up like a bird and being free like a bird is a big part of this hobby. But let me get back to the monsters, because it seems like every time I try to get on it, there's something that's pulling me away from it. And I want to address it. There are monsters among us. In every demographic, every group of people, every nationality, every race, every color, every creed, every gender. And that's just part of it. I talked earlier that there are people that are extremely neurodivergent, sociopaths, psychopaths. These people truly, if they truly are a sociopath, psychopath, they have no remorse. It's not that they choose to have no remorse. It's that they don't have it. It's not present. It's to me one of the things that makes AI so dangerous. Knowledge without empathy or sympathy is a monster. That's exactly what it is. And monsters can come out of this nerd group, the Unabomber. They're tired of being picked on, tired of being stepped on, tired of being walked on. And they have this neurodivergency, this tendency anyway to not really care, or it's not even about they don't care. They cannot grasp. They cannot understand what them stepping all over you feels like. Even though they know what it feels like to be stepped on. The thought of how does this person feel when I've done something wrong is as foreign to them as some of you speaking a totally different language. It's foreign. It's just not present. And sociopaths in all social demographics are monsters. They are dangerous. They can seem to be the sweetest, kindest people, and then boom, just on a hat, turn to the point where they do heinous stuff. I can't because of the platform that I'm on right now go into the things, but I don't need to. We've all heard of serial killers and the Pete O files that we put in the cabinet, that have no remorse, that they truly, it doesn't bother them. If you were to no longer be breathing, it wouldn't bother them. Those are the monsters. And luckily, there's not that many of them. There's not that many sociopaths or psychopaths in our hobby. I don't know of any that I've met. I've met some pretty messed up people in this hobby, and have talked with a lot. Believe it or not, I've counseled with people from New Zealand, Portugal, South America, and even Canada. I've counseled with people, not including just the people in the U.S. So this is this is FPV sermon. Nice change, Marty. Well, I'm trying to help us. I'm trying to get us, not you, us, to see that truth matters, and whether you want to see it or not, with this we get the wine and small wafers. No, but I will pass the offering plate. Now, where is it? I don't know how you can do that. I just seen it. It come with the new version of the feature chat thing. So I don't know how you would give a tip or what, but just consider that to be the offering plate, passing it. It's at no charge. I'm just wanting to help out. Hopefully people will see this and realize that sometimes the narcissist doesn't mean to step on you. Sometimes the nerd doesn't mean to call you stupid. Sometimes the introvert really doesn't want you to think that they could care less about you and your life and your wants or your family. I'm just going to do my own thing. Everything is not always malicious. Sometimes conflict grows. Thank you. Sometimes conflict grows in the absence of truth. Thanks, 8-Bit, for the donation. State of 808. Yeah. Thank you. Jolly Bob, Ethan says, when I first joined the hobby, I had no one to turn to for help. Every community I joined had 10 people giving you completely different, contradictory advice. All different personality types. I don't know what that means, but let them 808s thump. What? Really don't know what that means, but let them thump. I trust both of you. So, yeah, but Ethan's thing here. He went to and he got different advice all the time. You know, people ask, "What's the best goggles?" You know, "What's the best props?" How about what's the best restaurant to eat at? I could ask you guys to put it in the chat, and we would get different things. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong. Derpy says, try being a female entering a male dominant sport. I'm very lucky I met the right people first. Yes. And this is probably some of the stuff we'll talk about when we have you on the channel, Derpy. It's really not a hobby that, even right now, that I would call completely safe for a young lady or a lady in general to step out by herself in. So Bob said, so I tried to start what I was looking for and started my own Discord server for new pilots. Since then, my friends and I have guided people through that's how FPV Freaks started. We were on another Discord and drama happened, and yes, I was in that drama. Some bad thing happened and took place, and it caused us to form it was called Lost Quads for a long time, and then we changed it to FPV Freaks. And it's just a place for people to go to get the answers that fit them. You know, I've talked with you enough, Ethan. You know, you're from the engineering side of it. You know, you're like, if you start talking to the right person and you start telling them about capacitance and, you know, of the battery and how that's going to affect if your motor's pulling too many amps on it, and you know, all of this, and some people are just going, what? You're speaking a totally different language. But you found a group of people, birds of a feather, though birds want to be free, but birds of the feather will flock together. And then what happens is, you know, you'll get a narcissist in that group, or you'll get an overachiever in that group, or hope to God you don't get a monster in a group. And then something happens, and what you had begins to crumble, and people leave and fall away and all of that. And got to keep my mouth hydrated. Still got a massive hole where that tooth was. My house English roast beef dinner is the best place to eat. It sounds good. Not like that stuff you sent Heads and OG. The toast and beans. I told Heads a long time ago. He and I was talking, and we were trying to think of some kind of thing that I could do to encourage people to give super chats, like his eating hot or nasty jelly beans. I'm like, one, I'm not eating nothing that I know can potentially be beans on toast. Yeah. Woo.
On refried beans on my toast. Now that's good with some cheese.
They did it wrong. It looked like it. I don't know if there was a right
Refried
one.
beans and toast is really good.
Yeah, I'll take your word for that, June. I will. I'll take your word. I just like butter on my toast. Maybe a little bit of jelly, but I don't like butter and jelly on my toast. So I'm kind of weird. I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich. I'll eat a jelly sandwich, but not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't like it. I'm a weird eater. Get out of here, 8-bit. You're the monster. You too, Joe.
Butter and garlic salt on toast.
The amount of cheese they used. Whew. I've seen heads eat some nasty jelly beans that were like vomit, rotten fish and stuff, and and he had about as hard a time getting down that beans on toast as he did anything else. I was like, oh, June. June sends I love you horns or symbol or whatever that. I don't know if that's the I love you one or the satanic one, but I think it's the I love you one. So, but anyway, back to what I was trying to get at.
Some of us are just loco.
That's right. Yep. And you yeah, most of us are neurodivergent. That's another word for loco. If we're staying in this hobby.
Some might even say freaks.
That's right. Some might even say freaks. Yep. And Skydozer said, it is the satanic one. Okay. Okay. All right. So it does say sign of the horns when he puts it up there. So, but back to
Og won't eat anything that has color to it, lol. His meal plan is a silent movie.
Oh, OG, yeah. He struggled. OG struggled bad with it. He did, and I'm more like him when it's come. I'm just not going to eat stuff that I think is gross. June says that equals the I love you. All right. So, yeah, I know my brother does that to his grandson, and that's his way from a distance telling him that he loves him. So anyway, so here, wrapping back up, the drama in our community. Though people have asked me, I've just had people come out and ask me because of we did the watch party and we did a follow up and everything. I've had people just come right out and ask me, Marty, which side are you on the TinyWhoop debate? And my answer to that is both. Both are human beings that deserve to be heard and loved. And even if one of them is wrong, or both of them are wrong, it doesn't change the fact that they're still people. And I think the truth that we need to get. I said all of this is one, yeah, Kiss says it's not about sides, it's about listening to people. But yeah, it's more than that. Also, because if you're listening neurodivergently, you're not going to hear the same thing. If you're listening narcissistically, you're not going to hear the same thing. If you're an overachiever and you're super analytical, like Data from Star Trek. Some people, emotions do not click. They understand mathematical equations more than they understand the importance of an unprompted hug or an unprompted, hey man, I appreciate you. Thank you for helping out. And see, that's something that I could do better at races. Is when I'm at a race, man, I get my case out and I am laser focused until that race is done. And it works at getting races done. It's not the best thing at growing friendships, because there's times when people, they see the race director and I'm sitting there and I'm running all this stuff. They think, well, that guy, if anybody, has the answers to why I can't get this quad I just bought from this guy over here to bind up with my QX7 that I brought with me, that I found on eBay. And sometimes they'll come and ask me, and I'm like, listen, go ask one of the other guys. I'm right in the middle of 4 or 5 different things. And if I'm not careful, I will hurt somebody that I didn't even know, that they're just a noob, and I can run them off. Jeff was on here. I know he came to a race and he had some stuff that, he was wanting to sell and everything. And it was particularly at that time, there was a lot going on in the race and stressful. And I wasn't able to give him, and I know Jeff, we've sat across the dinner table, at a local restaurant with each other before. And I've met his children, and they've been over at the church and stuff. So I know him more than just somebody just walking down the street. But at that time, I didn't have it to give, and we need to understand who are you dealing with. It's not fair. Let's use Ethan Jolly Bob here. Ethan is a very intelligent, very analytical, bright young man. And from what I hear, a great musician, which probably makes him even better analytically and mathematically. We can't ask Jolly here.
Can Jeff fly better than Jesse thinking face?
I don't know. That I think they both might be at my race. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get to see. And hopefully, both of them will get to come, and there won't be drama, and there won't be crap going on, and it will just be racing and coming together and accepting people for who they are. I've worked with Jesse, and I've worked with Jeff. So I've worked with TinyWhoop, and I've worked with Weebleed. And those two men are as different, as almost night and day. But they're both two powerful forces socially, that when they walk into the room, it's just natural for them to clash. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And you have to understand that's where I'm getting at. What are the truths that we need to understand? That's what this stream is about tonight. I'm not working on any quads. I've not really focused on answering, and I do see that people have been answering questions. We're not talking about the new Radio Master radio, which I know everybody's wanting to talk about it. Right now, what I think is more important is that
they should have a freestyle shootout, winner takes all, lol.
I just want to know how to give better hugs. Just do it more sincerely, man. And slowly, just be real. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. If the community, which the community split pretty close down the middle, little heavier leaning one side than the other, but let's just say if it's 50-50 on this TinyWhoop thing, the Rotor Riot, y'all remember that? That was a big thing. People, Rotor Riot can go to hell because they selling military stuff, and And Drew makes the comment, you don't get to know. You don't get to know the answer to this. And that didn't help him none. But Drew's a leader. He's an extrovert and all of that type of stuff. And sometimes we all get, or including myself here when I say that, sometimes we get diarrhea of the mouth. And we pop off things that we have to pay for. And, I wrote this down here earlier. I don't think it applies anymore, but I'll keep it there in case it does. The fiber optic drones. That right there, man. In my opinion, I watched that and I was like, oh my gosh. You're just fueling the fire for the government to take away our right to fly drones. Period. But anyway, yes, some people don't read the room at all. They don't. They walk in, they don't care what's going on in the room. They want to find a corner where people can leave them alone and they can do what they want to do. Other people, like me and you, we come into the room and I'm reading the room. Who's here? What's the vibe in the room? For me, having, security and law enforcement back, I'm looking at exits. I'm looking at people, sizing people up, looking for places if, God forbid, y'all don't want to know what fully goes through my mind all the time because it never stops. It just shuts down for a little while. I tell people that my brain is almost like a Windows computer that never gets shut off. I only have moments of blue screen. And during the blue screen, it looks an awful lot like I'm asleep. But, so, to be fair, Kiss says, I come into a room and get on a list. Yeah. And not to be ugly, Kiss, but people like me who read the room, people like Ethan who read the room, it's human nature. I cannot quantify people. I cannot help but quantify people. That's what I'm trying to say. When I walk up to somebody and I meet them for the first time, I'm looking at everything from their shoes, how they're tied. I can tell, Forrest Gump says you can tell a lot about a person by their shoes, where they're going, where they been. He's dead on right. You can tell a lot about somebody by their shoes, how they tie their shoes. I can tell you find most fat men and their shoes are going to be tied in a granny knot that has slipped over to the inside of their foot. It's not tied right up on the front like it's supposed to be. It'll be to the inside where they step. If this is a foot, it's going to be right here. Because they struggle with reaching their feet because they're fat. And, it's hard on their back. It's hard for them to breathe or whatever. So most people that are more than mildly overweight, hey, you're with the fat freaks here, brother. So hey, and PhatPastor here. So I got more chins in the Chinese phone book. So, but my shoes, if they lace up, double granny knot, I slip right into them. All of my shoes are slip-ons except for my combat boots. And then those have a zipper on the side too. So you can trust FPV pilots by their goggles. The laces are on the outside. Some people bend down and put their knee right in between their arms and they tie their shoes. Somebody will put their shoe up on a chair or whatever. But anyway, I cannot help but read a room unless I am being purposeful. That when I come in, and I have to do that, when I come in, especially to a new group, I have to tell myself, Marty, stop. Amen, brother. And those that don't know what we're talking about, just go on and we'll do it later. I best wear my best shoes if I ever meet you. My normal shoes are manky sneakers, and I do everything in them. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell a lot about a person by their old beat up sneakers. That's their favorite shoe. They care more about comfort and getting their daily task done than they do about vanity. So yeah, we're judging people by their by their goggles now, and
I have work sneakers, nice sneakers, casual sneakers. They're all New Balance, and it's actually just one pair.
and they don't help you at all with balance. So, me, I'm a Skechers guy. I like Skechers. So, I used to like New Balance, but I like Skechers. But anyway, so let me get back to wrapping this thing up, and then we can talk about whatever. And
It's raining on the beautiful sandy beaches out here.
good. Where are you, 8-Bit? Sandy beaches? They don't have sandy beaches in New Mexico. You must be somewhere else. He must be gone on vacation. So, I have wide feet. Yep. Black and white memory foam insoles. Oh, we can talk. It's all beaches. Oh. You mean all beaches, no water, right? New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yeah, it's most people call that the desert, but okay. Anyway, let me land this airplane. See if I can. Okay.
It's all about the Osiris D3 2001. It's so outrageously brash, but they are Boss sneakers.
I've not even heard of them, Kiz. But I need to get Kiz and Derpy.
That's negative people that call it a desert. Dead stick.
Dead stick. I need to get Kiz and Derpy somehow to do my voiceovers for Jarvis, and I wished I could have it where Kiz,
DC's, Skechers, or Hooker heels.
now see, I used to be a Converse guy. Chuck All Stars. What was it? I used to love Converse when I was a teenager. Not a teenager, but youth pastor. And then Chuck Taylor. Yeah. Yeah. I used to wear them all the time. And now I'm just, they haven't got enough soul. Not enough soul, not enough cushion for this big boy. But anyway, let me bring this jet in, this jumbo jet that I've got up into the air, and let me bring this thing in. Here's the truth, whether we want to believe it or not.
If you need voiceovers, drop me a message on what you want. I'll bring my best English voice. Nike Cortez were my favorite as a kid.
Reebok was my favorite as a kid. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, Kiz. I know Heads talked about doing it one time with my voice, and he wanted my voice to be, what have I done? Don't look at the screen. Okay, there we go. I don't know how to do that, Kiz, but Heads at one time said he wanted to do that with my voice, but I have no idea.
Vans
how that's
here.
done. Vans, yep. Me now, You know what I wear more than
My
anything?
favorite was the ones that I most fit out of the trash.
If anybody can guess with your first guess, and you don't know me personally, what shoe
Just tell me what you would like me to say.
wear.
I will sort outthe rest. What is it with my voice?
It's both it's your English accent. It just, for me, especially after my head injury, I had to change Siri on my phone and my devices to an accent that didn't anger me, because when I had a traumatic head injury, I was easily angered, and I found that a soft English accent was calming, and it didn't make me angry. So I quit throwing my phone across the room and breaking it. Go figure. It was my brain. It was damaged
I'm gonna
at
guess
that
you
time.
loved the Reebok Pump Marty.
Nope, I didn't like the pump. Didn't really. That came after I
Soothing,
was already.
sexy voices, that's why.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know that I would call an English accent a sexy voice. You know, it's calming. So, no offense, Kiz or Derpy. This just. But let me get back. I'm going to try to land this plane again, even if I have to Paul's Jarvis. See there, my brain.
BMF_Spade_FPV.
How's it going, BMF Spade? Reeboks DMX Lights. Yeah.
IDK Kiz is kinda sexy, don't y'all think? Winking
K-Swiss.
face.
K-Swiss.
Marty, you look like a K-Swiss kinda guy.
No, I never was a big K-Swiss. Roos, when I was a kid. Roos. They were called kangaroos. We called them roos. There you go. New Balance. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I will give something away. I will give a set of 802 motors away. If somebody can guess on your first guess what type of shoes
At
I'll
8bit
wear
underscore the wife doesn't think the same, lol.
80 or 90% of the time. What brand of shoe do I wear 80 or 90% of the time? If you can guess it in your first guess on here, I will send you a set of 0802 motors. No. Whoa, DMF Spade.
Crocs. Pumas.
DMF Spade got it. Crocs. Yep. That's what I wear 90% of the time. DMF Spade, if you do not have the Discord, let me put a link to it. Message me your information if I don't already have it from another giveaway. Invite people. Crocs are not shoes. Well, they are to me.
Sorry, type. Meant pumps.
They are feet beds. There you go. What I need you to do, DMF Spade, is send me your address. I hope that you are in the continental U.S.
Congrats, BMS.
If not, then I will just send you a gift card.
BMF.
Yeah, BMF. If you're not in the U.S., then message me also. Derpy can tell you. I'll just send you a gift card for somewhere for you to buy something wherever you're from. So, Crocs aren't shoes. They're Crocs. Yeah. I love them though. I saw a guy, I was a youth pastor, saw a guy at church camp, and he had a set on with no socks. And I was like, dude, those are the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. And I had my Chuck All Stars on, and and he was like, don't knock them till you try them. And I was like, no, man, I don't ever see myself wearing some of those. And now, the Crocs are the shoes that get stolen by your daughters constantly. Yeah, I tried them by the next church camp year. I was preaching that church camp with a set of Crocs on. So there you go. Yep. BMF Spade, get in touch with me.
My feet get irritating if I wear socks.
Send me a message there, and I'll drop them in the mail with you. Mine do too. I don't like to wear socks, but it's a little gross. The top of my feet I've got hobbit feet. Top of my feet are a little bit hairy, and
Do you have Croc charms, lol?
no Croc charms. After you land the plane, can you explain the UDL ELIF for anyone interested in? Okay, yes. Let me land this plane, and then I certainly will. Let me keep that up there. So I'm gonna pause Jarvis for a second, guys. So because I just need to land this vehicle for a second. There we go. Okay, now he's paused. I do not have Croc charms. All right. Landing the plane. Back to it. We are going to stay in the same repeating cycle. One of the definitions, people say the definition, and it's not the definition, but one of the definitions, or one of the foundations of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And right now, our hobby is insane, because we're just keeping on doing the same stuff all the time, continuing to walk on people, continuing to use people, continuing to steal their ideas, continuing to all of the things that's caused all of the hurt and all of the drama, and this and that, you name it. Right now we're at the pinnacle of our dramaness and our dysfunction in this community right now. And the only way I think we're going to get out of it is remove the board from your own eye before you start trying to pick the splinter out of somebody else's. You may have heard of that somewhere before. Thank you, June, for your membership. And for FPV Croc charms. 3 months. That's one way to an alert, super chat alert or something like that will get me to pause on landing this plane for a minute. But anyway, until we get past ourselves and start looking at this thing through somebody else's perspective and standpoint, we're not ever going to be any better. You can't ask a chimpanzee not to be a chimpanzee. You just have to understand its nature. Now, human beings, luckily, we're not chimpanzees. Human beings can change. We can correct our... Thank you for the gifting of the memberships. And YouTube did the thing, so I got to pop the chat back out. Thank you, Kiz, for the gifting of the memberships. Daigle Pup, Wind Chill FPV, Cohair. I guess that's right. Safe Zone FPV and Jack Gallman were all gifted memberships. Yeah, I don't have a Patreon, but how about the next person that signs up as a member, FPV Spade? He said, let me get the chat rolling here. Wait. Oh, I've paused it, so I guess I'm going to have to resume the speech before it's going to let me resume the chat. Hang on. Oh, no. What? No. Hang on. There we go. All right. Whew. Almost made a big mistake right there. Let me pop out the chat again. All right. That will work. Spade said, so the next person to join as a member, well, I will send you a set of 0802 motors. So if it's worth $2.99 or $1.99, whatever it is for you, you could do it for a month and then cancel. But the first person to, from here on, to become a member, I will send those to you. Because anyway, I'm going to land this plane. I've left your comment up, Scott. Sorry. So we cannot ask somebody to be something that they're not. We can only hope that they will listen long enough and that an intent enough that we can see some change, enough change to get along. That's what we need. That is, I believe that is the purpose of what TinyWhoop was initially meant for. Whether it's achieved that or not, I don't know. It's yet to be seen. And you know, I think that we need to understand that all of us play a role in this game, this community. It's like a body made up of a bunch of different parts. We all have different roles. Why is this? Let me see. Why is the chat? Is it locked up? It is locked up. Huh. Guess I'll watch it from here. Sorry guys. There we go. Now it's on. That should be working. Let me pop out the chat again. I need the chat. Give me a second. I need to be able to see the chat. In my chat. Let's see if it does it. Yes, there we go. Thank you. Hello or hello. So, all right. If we're going to affect change, it's got to start with us. To quote Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I don't normally quote him, but that's what we need to do. And we also need to understand that there are people that we are not going to see eye to eye with at all. And that some personalities don't mix well together, especially in a one-on-one interaction. Be careful who you make agreement with, who you come in agreement with. You know, how can two people walk together unless they agree? And, you know, you got to agree. And it's the nature of an extroverted person to push their will upon an introverted person. And that's, understand that going into it. Be open about your weaknesses. Be open about your proclivities. You know, I tell people, listen, I tell my congregation, I tell them, listen, I can be the most oblivious person sometimes because when I get focused on a task, I am so laser focused that it's hard for me to pay attention to anything else. You know, my wife has said that when I'm focused on something, a marching band could come through and she'd be like, did you see that? What'd you think about that marching band? I'd be like, what? There was a marching band? That's how I can be sometimes. And you have to understand you before you can expect anybody else to understand you. And understand your strengths and your weaknesses. And that's a truth that we all need. Everybody deserves to be loved and to love. And people said to me before, well, yeah, well, what about Adolf Hitler? Go back and look at his childhood. There's not going to be a stream on him, but look at his childhood. Look at a lot of things. You will see a young boy striving, looking hard, wanting to be loved, and was not. So, you know, does that make it right what he did? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Does it, me stepping on somebody because I'm a tad bit neurodivergent, does that make it right? No, it doesn't. But it doesn't change it from the fact that that's why it happened. And until I can realize and understand what I'm doing, the actions of my words, the consequences of my words and my deeds, or my lack of social skills or whatever, my lack of understanding who I am walking with, who I am trying to work with, until that happens, there's going to be the conflict. You have to, and even if I preached this sermon first when I went to the church, the last church that I was a youth pastor at, the very first sermon I preached there was it was parts of the body. Most of you know the Bible says we're all individual parts of a body made up into one body. And I was like, what if you're the butthole? If you're the butt? Nobody wants to be the butt. The butt doesn't smell good. We tried to hide the butt, the stuff that comes out of the butt. We don't want nobody to see. We don't want nobody to smell. But here's the truth. If the butt quits doing its job, the stomach's going to start hurting. The knees are going to start shaking. The eyes are going to get blurry. The body's probably going to start puking. The brain's going to get dizzy and confused. And if the butt completely refuses and shuts down doing its job, then the body becomes dysfunctional. So even if it's an uncomely part, even if you've been told that you don't matter, or you've made to feel like you're a butthole or whatever, there's a place for you. And if everybody will stop long enough to realize that things work a whole lot better in the group when the butt does its job. There we go. The wheels just touched down. We need to understand we got a bunch of weirdos. FPV Freaks says it correctly. What is love, baby?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. No more.
As soon as the plane landed, yeah, Jarvis is back. Thank you for waiting. Yeah, and so exactly. Now let me.
Buttholes do butt jobs.
That's right. Why? Okay, there it goes. Now let me get back to Scott's question. An actual FPV question. Gonna wrap this thing up. Unless y'all guys have got more questions. After you land the plane, it's landed. Thank you, guys. Hopefully you'll listen to it, and with some retrospect, we can pull this thing around. After you land the plane, can you explain the UDL ELIF for anyone interested in flying at your next event? I don't really know what you mean by ELIF.
What KV are the motors?
19. Well, what KV do you want? I've got several different kind. I was thinking about sending 19,000 kV. Perfect for UDL. What is the ELIF? I really don't know what that is, are you talking about the specs? The UDL specs, it has to be, you can find that at the Underground Whoop League. Let's go here. All right, let me switch over here.
You got anything above 30K?
You're already a member, June. I think I might, actually. I would have to look. I think I might. I don't know for sure, but I think I might. I know I used to, but I think I might have sold the last set of 32,000s at IO, so I don't know for sure. I know I got 28s and stuff like that, but I don't know for sure if I've got over 30. All right, let's go to not that one. Let's go here and let me adjust the screen. No. Okay, that's what it is. Let me adjust this. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Let me unselect this so we can. I want to build a spec compliant drone. Where do I start? Right here at this website, the Underground Drone League. Let's go to the website. Here we are. So UDL, we're going to be flying the Igniter series, which is right here, or the Igniter class. It's a 75 millimeter. Let's see, there's leaderboards. All right. It requires for it to be 75 millimeter ducted frame, 40 millimeter props, bi-blade. Have to be bi-blade props. 1S 450 milliamp battery. You have to at least be, with the battery, 40 grams. It is meant to be fat and slow. LEDs.
UDL is meant to be fat and slow spec-built tiny poopers usually lit up with bright LEDs, best for spectators to enjoy the very close action.
Right. You have to have LEDs on it, and you have to have a special flash on it, which is called the CAC flash. I will probably be on Discord later after I shut the stream down, and we can actually talk more about. You have to. See, there's my alarm going off, telling me to take my medication. You have to download a special version of CAC, and then over in the corner you'll put Igniter in it, and so it takes a special flash which has the RPM limiter set on it, and it has to be approved parts, which is approved frames. The motors have to be 0802, 19,000 kV motors. We allow 0802 19,500 beta FPV. One of the easiest ways to get to spec is beta FPV has, I think it's the 2023 or 2024 model. Rect has it for like $109. It's not the Pro. Don't get the 75 millimeter. It's the regular 75 millimeter. It comes with white bi-blades on it, and all that we require is a flash. Hang on. There I am. All that we require is a flash to the igniter settings and LEDs put on that. So,
Cack, y'all come back now, y'all here.
yeah. And so it does require the CAC to be put on it. And so the all up weight has to at least be 40 grams. That's the thing. If you're going analog, you're going to have to add some weight to it. And that's why there's no advantage, in my opinion, other than money savings, is the only advantage in UDL for not flying HDzero. So the race also is only going to be HDzero and analog. We will not have timing and video because we are going to be live streaming it, because we've got sponsors that are wanting us to live stream it the whole time. Excuse me. No walk snail or no DJI. So, what I recommend, Scott, is a Mobula 4 frame, 75 millimeter. I go with the Happy model. Where are they? I just had them out just a little bit ago. Oh, maybe not. I go with the Happy model 0804 XE, 19,000 kV motors. It's the Unibel design. I've used the Beta FPV crossboard with plugs because you got to have that weight. And you can take the HDzero Mob 7, which is a pre-built, and put the Mob 7 has 1002 motors on it. You'll have to change the motors, and I believe they're soldered on motors, so that's not going to work without changing the motors. Back to what I was saying. I use the Beta crossboard. I use the HDzero Nano VTX, and I use the Weebleed FPV or Rect FPV 5-watt cob LEDs, and I put them on. Yeah, see, here's the motors I was talking about. I looked in the wrong drawer. Do I not have a frame in the loose? Whew, that's messy. But I bought these from a guy on our Discord. I don't remember how many sets it is, but it's a lot of sets of 0802. These are not the XE Unibels, but they're the 0802 Happy model 19,000 kV motors. What I do with the cobs, because I don't want to get up, and I have my case that's got my UDLs at church. I normally cut this stuff off because it impedes what I'm planning to do with the cob LEDs. I will run them from here all the way up to just to the side. Don't run them out front because they'll get in your video feed, but I run them from the back, around, and just to the side, because you want to be able to see it all the way around. And I take the Beta FPV crossboard, pop it in here with the HDzero and the regular nano camera and the HDzero canopy. I like a plastic covered canopy to protect it. And with those motors and the HDzero stuff on this frame and that canopy, you should be a little bit over 40 with the Cobb LEDs installed, and you don't have to add gross weight that you don't need. So I hope that answers your question. 533 going to have UDL bind and fly special. I know that they're going to have some for sale. They are going to have some there. Skip, who's normally on Discord with me at night, he'll be able to tell you all about it. He might even have enough parts where if you buy the HDzero or something, he may have all the other parts to build you one. I know he builds stuff on the side. I'm not trying to take any business away from Fly 3, 533, but yes, you can go on there and get a completely built one if you got the money for it, and it's flashed with everything that you need, all of that. If you don't have the budget for that and you need to go a little bit cheaper, then Skip can probably help you with that. If you need some 0802 motors, let me know. And it's a start. I'll be hitting up Discord later. All right, cool, man. Yeah. We can get you going. Certainly, we're looking forward to that. Seeing you there at the race. So, no digital VTX. I'm running a version 40 walks now. Well, you can have HDzero. The problem with, we had a guy, Scott, you were, yes. Okay. You were at the last race, right? Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. But you lost your weight. Yes, you did. I haven't yet. I lost 115 pounds and gained 90 of it back. But anyway, yes, we can get you going. You met Skip. I think you bought a drone from Skip. Scott, we'll definitely get you going. Sorry that my brain just didn't register that. I think if you'd have had your racer name, which was Pro Photo, right? Right? I believe that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Preox. Okay. I thought it was Pro Photo. Maybe you've changed it. Or maybe my brain's just got a hiccup in it. I know it does. Yeah, we'll get you going. Thanks, man. I appreciate the recall. It shows the community. Yeah. I just wasn't seeing it in your avatar. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't look like you. What I remember you looking like, it might look exactly like you, but my brain's just all jacked up. So yes, I'm gonna wrap this thing up tonight, guys. If you want to start putting your goodbyes in the chat, then you can, and we'll start wrapping this thing up tonight. If there's no more questions, all right, we'll go. Let me see how the stream says it's going.
The robot dude is annoying. Bye.
Well, the robot says 8
Nah, we love Javas.
All right. Now let me check the analytics real quick. Hey, guys, one more like. If you've not hit it, we're one more like to bring us up to 15 likes. Smash that like button for me if you haven't yet, or if you've got another account that you can log on real quick. Let's go ahead and get that 15 likes. YouTube likes those. There we go. Thank you. All right. Analytics are good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the discussion. And hopefully we will see.
He has tenacity.
I have tenacity. Whatever. I have tenacity or whatever. Fat tenacity. But whatever. Thank you guys for your friendship here on the channel, your support on the channel. Thank you for your memberships. Thank you for all of the chats. Let me see what it says about the chats. How many? That's in another window. Yeah, I don't want to go there right now. All right. So thank you guys. And remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep flying and rise up and meet me.
Much
In the
love,
air.
Marty. Thanks, man. Lovin's to Yals too. The same bunch as you butt munchers. David Barfield.
Hey, David, just joined the chat, man. I'm so sorry. We are logging off as you logged on. Thank you, man. Hit that like and comment and subscribe button before you go, man. And we will hit you up next Tuesday or next Thursday. Same time, same place. So remember, guys, rise up and meet me in the air. Good night.